Hello everyone, and welcome back to another manga chapter review. I am the Rat, and this is the Rat's Nest. I'm joined as always by Kyle. Say hi, Kyle.
Hello everyone.
And we're back with One Piece. Week breaks they get longer and longer. We think we'd be used to it with Chainsaw Man, because we get a week break every other week. But still, somehow it's so long with One Piece, at least for me.
I don't really feel it. I keep myself busy during the weeks to where whenever it's weekly or bi-weekly chapters come out, I'm like, oh hey, it's a nice reward for all the work I put in. And this week was no different, because this week of One Piece was really good.
Yeah, I guess I just have no life.
Just sitting there waiting for Oda to drop the next.
I will say, since last chapter, we had the One Piece card game come out.
Oh yeah, quick 10-second review of that. Go.
It's good.
I also think it's good.
It is very good. It's fun. If you guys are, we're sponsored by them. They're giving us so much money.
Brandy, you can't. I don't think you can actually say that. I don't think
Can we not? We can't legally say we're sponsored by someone if we're not sponsored by them.
I don't think we're allowed to.
Okay, we're not sponsored by them. But you should.
But we would
like
like to be.
It's a fun game. They should give us money.
We would like to be sponsored.
We are One Piece YouTubers.
We are.
I think we're actually planning on playing a game after we record this.
Yeah.
But we're here, chapter 1062 of One Piece, and what a good one it was.
Yeah, this. Sorry, just to give my initial thoughts on the chapter. I really like this chapter. It built off obviously what was happening last chapter. We also have what seems like a somewhat clearer direction for the arc is going. Like we learn a little bit more information that we'll talk about soon, and then we at the end of it we get the clear goal in mind, at least on the villains side.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid that this is going to be called Egghead Island.
Egghead Island. That's a good
after
name
Wano. Post Wano arc is Egghead Island. It's interesting. It's fun to say.
Yeah, let's get into Sanji fans losing.
Exactly. So, cover story, Germa 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 20. So here we get to see Chocolate Town iced over, which gives a lot of credence to the theory that Aokiji is Blackbeard's 10th captain. Because a while ago we saw two figures come to this town, right? And now it's iced over. Now, who has ice powers?
Aokiji.
Exactly. So that's just a little thing. I'm not too interested. I'm not too invested, I should say, in that little.
Well, hold on. Let's touch on that for just a second, because the last time we saw Aokiji was Punk Hazard, where it was Doflamingo attacking Smoker, and you have the iconic anime panel of like the little brother big brother beating up little brother, and then mom shows up because it was. He's sitting on Smoker about to kill him, and then Aokiji shows up and is like, get off of him now.
So true.
I also didn't know that this chapter played the card game. Look, it says Dawn.
I thought the exact same thing.
But that could be with this cover is giving us. If Blackbeard was there, okay, let's think about it. Big Mom, well, the remainder of Big Mom's troops that are there were fighting against Germa. Blackbeard is known for the third parties. That would make a good moment for him to show up, or at least part of his pirate crew to show up and just like take the spoils of war, I
think it makes a lot of sense. I think that'd also be a cool thing to reveal during a cover story.
Yeah.
Getting into the chapter proper, we have Frankie fangirling over Vegapunk. Very good to see. I always enjoy seeing the Straw Hats. I think it's something we didn't get a ton of in Wano, and so I've really enjoyed this past recent couple chapters.
Yeah, and the reason we got some moments, but to be fair, it was a battle against literally half of the emperors, so I can understand why the arc had a lot more serious moments with less Straw Hats fangirling over stuff. And now that they're already an emperor crew, like, to see them being able to like gush or fangirl over stuff, but knowing how powerful they are really adds to their character. Or their character.
We get to see Sanji and Usopp is going crazy over the robot. We get to see Brook very briefly here.
He does nothing this chapter.
He does nothing in this chapter. And we get to see Sanji fans losing. We get to see Sanji fans taking L's.
And it's not even because he's gushing over him. The next two to three pages pretty much just they summarize. Oda looked specifically toward Brandon and I said, "Hey, want me to write a good chapter with your favorite characters?" And we both nodded in agreement and said yes.
And then he did it. It's crazy.
And then he did exactly. I can't believe the Eiichiro Oda made a chapter just for us.
I can't believe it. He can't believe Eiichiro Oda is a fan of the Rat's Nest.
Yeah, so the first thing after them fangirling, Robin says, "Just a moment. This is the first I've heard of Vegapunk being a woman. She looks far too young because Vegapunk's been active for many years." And then we get the explanation of there are different bodies that Vegapunk has. Like these are... This one is Vegapunk 02 Lilith. And as we see later, there are 6 different of these fake Vegapunks. And then they're all tied back to the original. So there's 7 in total. 6 copies and then one.
That's the question is there still one Vegapunk or did one Vegapunk split into 6? Because I think it's one Vegapunk splitting into 6, but I could definitely see it going the other way.
I believe that there's, because they're numbered 01 to 06. I would like to believe that there's just a 00, with as the original was just this old man hiding deep in his bunker. That's what I see. That's my theory right now.
It's odd, and I mean we'll see this later, but of the 2 Vegapunks we've seen have been women. Lilith and Atlas have been women.
And we don't know. There could be others.
Mm-hmm. There could be. So maybe Vegapunk is originally a woman. We don't know. We'll just have to see. So we get to see Lilith is trying to rob them. And then Nami, which is ironic, Nami being robbed, is like, hey, you can't do that. And then Lilith is like, this is not a rescue. Trespassing is water. And they will sink you without question. Then we get to see modified Sea Kings, which is insane. It's really cool.
It is. What does the line one say? UMP on it?
Yeah, maybe like jump or something or pump. I don't know.
Either a punk. Or wait, no. The other one says punk.
Yeah, no. Like pump it, like pump it up.
Yeah, sorry, I saw the little like cat looking one in the bottom left. Either way, no, they are completely surrounded by sea beasts, and Lilith gets a call on her device from another Vegapunk once, like, what are you doing?
And we get to see here, Frankie's like, oh, that's based. Usopp is like, no, it's not. Zoro is just staring down one of the Sea Kings like it's absolutely nothing. And Brook and Nami are freaking out. And then then Lilith gets her call.
And then the person on the other end is saying like they're a new Emperor crew. They're not going to surrender that easy, and you've made a foolish blunder. And then we get a part of the chapter I really like, which says, "Don't underestimate them. Look at the swordsman." This one page is really good, where she's explaining Zoro, like saying, "See how calm he is. He knows you're in range for him to end you in an instant. The same goes for Devil Child Nico Robin.
We stay winning. We stay winning.
We stay. You and I. Winning. We stay winning.
We stay winning." Oh my gosh, it's good. I'm
laughing at something Brandon sent with Luffy. It's the thing back at Whole Cake where he's yelling at Sanji, but it says, "I don't need you. Vegapunk's microwave will take your place."
We're not there yet, Kyle.
That's it, but I'm just remembering that because of how good Zoro and Robin are at this moment.
Oh yeah. And then Lilith is like, well, what can they do against all the sea beasts? The strong can appraise their prey and prioritize the most essential targets first. You should have been more cautious. Basically saying, yeah, they don't care about Sea Kings. They can end you.
Yeah, like there's no reason to fight them if they can just go for the jugular.
Uh-huh. It's based. And then here we have Lilith being like, those imbeciles around them lulled me into a false sense of security. He's confounded. I was careless. So, hey, Vegapunk, there's something I want from you, so you better play nice. Got it. First of all, Sanji fans took an L with these 3 panels. Because if you look at these 3 panels, tell me who's the vice captain, right? If you're a Sanji fan watching this, we're not going to apologize. I'm going to stay on top of my high horse as long as I possibly can after getting burned with Yamato.
I mean, now that Jinbei's here, is he even really number 3 on the team?
He's really number 4, I feel.
I mean, but like Robin and Nami exist, so like
Fair. I feel like he's kind of number 6.
And then there's Chopper and Uso. He's just at the bottom, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
And then if you want to talk about what you saw on Twitter about what Zoro's referring to, because I think that's
I saw this and I definitely agree with it. I think the reason Zoro wants to talk to Vegapunk is so he can get a cure for the smile fruits.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something else, and if it was, it's like, okay, I want it to be a cure for the smile fruits. I think it's in character, and I don't really know what else it could be. Because here's Vegapunk, this genius, and then we know Zoro wanted to cure them. And so, like, I have hope that Oda would hopefully want to, keep Zoro in character a little bit. After some of us were disappointed with how he was handled in Wano. No, I wasn't entirely, but I do think there were some things. But here, I think this would go a long way. I really hope he's talking about the smile fruit cure here.
Yeah, and in the supposed end of One Piece, where they resail around the world and visit all the islands one last time, if they ever went back to Wano, I could definitely see Zoro giving out the cures for all the people affected by the smile fruits.
Yeah. And here we get the little end of this segment. No matter bring them here, I have an interest in that crew. And that's from Vegapunk 01, Shaka.
Yeah.
And so this is maybe the original Vegapunk body or something. We just don't know. We'll have to wait until we see this Shaka character.
Yeah, but that's as far as this chapter goes. That is the end of that section, and then we move on to the next section with Luffy, Bonnie, Chopper, and Jinbei.
I'll let you read this little part here.
What's upcoming? Yeah, so they're talking about it. Luffy asks her, like, you've been here before. Bonnie says, yeah, when I was a kid, it was still pretty run-of-the-mill lab. And then they ask, like, how come you came back? She says, I'm here for answers. I'll have the bastard's life if I don't like what I hear. Vegapunk's the one who turned my dad into a cyborg. And then we see Kuma. And she says, it's not... He's completely lost his sense of self. He doesn't even know who he is anymore. But he's nothing but a living weapon now. And I was telling Brandon, I have followed One Piece for a very long time because Brandon caught up to it in 2 months. I'm not saying that you aren't attached. 2 years of watching a show will do something to your emotional attachment to a lot of the characters. So reading this, it was so fucking depressing, man. Because Kuma's story is already sad enough as is, but throwing in a daughter into the mix who's just looking for a way to fix him, at least I assume, like, she wants to try to find a way to fix him and bring him back. And man, it's just sad.
Mm-hmm. Kuma has canonically had sex.
Yeah, Kuma's a great character. Kuma's probably one of my favorites. I like him.
We get Luffy saying, sorry, bogey.
So Cowabummer.
This is where I watched my parents die, Rukia.
Cowabummer.
All right, next we get to see Egghead Island.
Yeah, we get to see what Oda does best.
Let's track down some grub. In the background of that panel, actually, you can see Jinbei helping Bonnie up. I just recently noticed that. Just a nice little background detail. Because, like, that's nice, isn't it? We get, of course, the classic Luffy will never learn about Sabo. Because, I forgot to mention I ran into Sabo and Mary Joie. Whatever, I can spill the beans later. Of course.
Yeah, and then, as I mentioned a little bit, I mentioned this off recording, but this is where Oda shines in terms of his story. He's good at instilling a sense of wonder into the world, and he does that. He's always good at picking a theme, having an island based around that theme, and just having the characters become so immersed in the world. Like this is the typical One Piece introductory chapter of an island where they're walking around like, whoa, what is this place, and just getting to interact with everything. And it's a very fun chapter. If nothing else, I don't know how people wouldn't like the chapter, but it is at worst, it is a really fun chapter.
Luffy goes up, tries to ride a hologram. It eats him, and you get to see Chopper and Bonnie just be like, uh-oh. And we find out he goes right through. We don't know it's a hologram, but now we know it's a hologram. Well, is that a giant parfait? And that's Bonnie saying that in the background, just pointing towards it. It's really good. There's been a lot of good background arc here. And they're all jumping towards it. Jinbei's like, it has to be a trap. They all fall through it. And then they're a little bit mad. Luffy goes Gear 5 over it. Which is good. Yeah. Good to see that he can just go Gear 5, right? So this is kind of like a soft confirmation through like a form of a joke that like no special prerequisites have to be met for Gear 5.
Yeah, you can just
And, like,
it's a Zoan fruit.
Yeah, I didn't think there would be because it is a Zoan fruit. And like, he finally unlocked it, right? He had it awakening.
Yeah, because with the others, it's like, oh, limited amount of time. I have to shave off some of my lifespan. I have to like do the whole Gear 4, like turn my rubbery bone body into Gear 4 now. But with this, it's just he can kind of do it whenever.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I think that's what needed. He's an emperor now. Monkey D.
it
Luffy
would
is one
be-
of the 4 emperors of the sea.
At this point in the story, it would be like 1,000+ chapters in. It'd be a little silly if Luffy still be like, all right, give me a couple minutes to go like my next form, like to just be able to do it since he's unlocked it. I think that's fine.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think that's what needed to happen.
And then we get introduced
Figure out
to
what's going on, and then we get to see a little child coming up. This is a very cute design. I don't
little.
What a little, it's a very cute design. I don't mean that in like a weird way. It's like it's a very cute design.
I know what you mean, but they said this one's as big as Kaido. That's not little.
It's like it's a little. You get to meet the new little Vegapunk.
They upscaled the PNG of a little kid to the size of Kaido.
Exactly. Here we get to see that this is a winter island, but it was reformed into a normal island, which is weird because Vegapunk's home island is also a winter island.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any importance there, but it's an interesting connection. Maybe Vegapunk just likes winter islands. And then Luffy goes, "You're a hollow thing too, right?" And then he gets whacked. And I saw something on Twitter which was like, if any other character got hit like that, there would immediately be power scaling discussions. And so Luffy gets hits the machine, and then Bonnie gets the Big Mac.
This is what I was referring to earlier about Vegapunk having like we get a little explanation explaining what this machine is, where it can like make almost any food a person wants. It does it really quickly, and it tastes super good apparently because Bonnie get the Big Mac.
Bonnie get the Big Mac. That's so true. So here they're all eating it. They're like, "That's good." And then this Vegapunk's, "Well, at least you appreciate my device. I'd mass produce it, but people are dumb. It really pisses me off." And then she punches the hologram because, of course. The common theme is they need more money.
Mm-hmm.
It was brought up by Lilith, and now it's brought up by Atlas. Well, her name is Atlas. We'll know a little bit later, but she's Atlas.
Yeah. So they are struggling for money. Yet they have like, okay, if they're struggling for money, it's the fact that all this technology is still like running without money. That's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, no, Vegapunk's an absolute genius.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have
photonic gloves.
Impossible, dude. I just realized that's big. That could hit Kizaru without hockey.
Huh?
Like I don't know if it'll ever be used like that, but that could hit Kizaru without hockey.
My photonic gloves make it possible to physically interact with light. Oh shit! Imagine if Kizaru showed up. Like if Kizaru showed up with whoever's going to show up later. I don't want to get too far ahead, and then boom, could just fight him.
Yeah, like I mean,
without hockey.
Hockey at this point is so common. I don't think it's going to be a thing, but it is. It's very interesting.
Imagine if Nami did it. Imagine if Nami wore the glove and just punched him right in the face.
Oh, Nami could. That could be how like the weak trio gets a little bit stronger. Is they get some of Vegapunk's technology. That'd be cool. We'll have to see how the arc plays out.
Yeah.
So here, debates on what to make something real is a little less time. The matter says, just who are you? Me, I'm just your resident scientific genius, Dr. Vegapunk. This is 06
and Bonnie,
Atlas.
Yeah, Bonnie's not fazed by that. She's like, nope, that's a lie.
Uh-huh.
And then we get a good reaction if it's Luffy and Chopper.
Me when Bonnie get the Big Mac. It's so true.
And then that's the end of that section.
Yeah, and then we have a final little 2 pages here where we get to see Rob Gucci, the Giraffe Man, Jirinja,
Kaku,
and then Bussy.
You just steal my joke.
I steal jokes all the time, Kyle. You should be honored.
Yeah, so it's these 3 all talking about what's going to happen. And this, as I said earlier, this is what presents a very interesting path for the arc. Because they're in the middle of talking, and Kaku's explaining how this works with Vegapunk being in different bodies, where his genius is only second to his busyness. and he split himself up into 6 people. There are 6 satellites, and each of them are all Vegapunk. And as Lucci explains from the point of the viewer, am I weird for thinking that sounds impossible? Geniuses are such a pain. And then the final page, we get the reveal of the Seraphim Kuma. And then Cypher Pull Ages 0, it's making its move to, as they say, in short, our assignment is to return this problem child back to Egghead. Then, while taking care not to damage any of the lab's precious assets, eliminate every last Vegapunk.
And to kill the single most useful man in the world. Wonder if this has something to do with the recent Leloucia incident. I wonder how they're going to tie that in. That'd be very interesting.
Yeah. And then we get the last 2 like talking with Lucci, and then that's the end of the chapter.
Overall, an amazing chapter. I think this is great. I really like where this arc is headed so far.
Yeah, no, 'cause again, this like we are going. What Brandon and I are hoping for is we really want another Lucci versus Luffy interaction, simply because Luffy would dome him within 5 seconds, and I refuse to believe otherwise. If Oda tries to stretch out a fight like that, there's no way.
Like Kyle brought up Zoro versus Kaku. That'd be so much fun to see.
That would just be like Zoro could literally just pull out a toothpick, infuse it with hockey, and be like, "All right, time to dance," and then murder him.
But it'll be very interesting to see. So we get to see, CP0 is coming to Egghead. We also see that Vegapunk, while yes, is technically to the Navy. In the past, Vegapunk has never been not tied to the Navy. And also now the Navy is coming to kill Vegapunk. So, will Vegapunk become a Straw Hat ally? Yes. Will all 6 Vegapunk form back together to the original Dr. Vegapunk? Personally, I'd say yes, probably. Will Vegapunk become a Straw Hat? Maybe. Will Vegapunk be a cute young girl? Hopefully. If Vegapunk is a cute young girl, will she join the Straw Hats? Hopefully. I think there's a lot of potential upsides to this arc.
And the thing is, like, the big question is, why do they want to kill Vegapunk? Because Vegapunk is a very valuable asset to have as of now. Is it something as simple as we have no more use for him? Does he know a secret that at this point after Leloucia, like, does he know the secret with Emu, the throne, all the ancient weapons? Like, do they want to kill him to make sure information doesn't spread?
Okay, so here, I have a theory. I just thought of it.
All right.
I was trying to think of like, okay, connections to Leloucia, like you were thinking. Does Vegapunk have a connection to Leloucia? If you remember, so the 3 weapons: Pluton, Poseidon, Uranus. Poseidon is Shirahoshi. We know that much. Pluton had blueprints that Frankie had.
Yeah.
What if Uranus also had blueprints and Vegapunk built it? And theoretically, Uranus being the thing that destroyed Leloucia.
And they want to kill him because he might know a way to stop Uranus.
Yeah, the way to stop it, or he might leak what it is, or how he built it, or he could build another one.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I could definitely see... Because... I could definitely see that, because she... I mean, I don't know if we can take what Lucci says, like, as total confirmation, but he even says, I wonder if this has something to do with the recent Leloucia incident, which it very well could be. Because
that could be a line brought in to make you think, make you connect the two, or it could just be something brought in to be like, okay, people know about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the timing of it. You think about it like this: the Navy, like Vegapunk, is one of, if not their most valuable assets. Like, ignoring what's happening now, like. The man who knows the secrets behind the devil fruits has made all this technology for them, has done just everything for them. Without Vegapunk, like, they would not be as far as they are.
I completely forgot about the devil fruit thing.
Yeah. And so there has to be something in their status quo has to have changed for them to decide, okay, we need to drop him now, or them, or her. I don't know. We need to get rid of Vegapunk. We need to eliminate Vegapunk, and that's not just something you naturally do. So I want to know what their logic behind trying to kill off their most valuable asset is. I'm very excited to see that.
Oh, also, I'm very interested to see. I do think Egghead is probably going to be a shorter arc, definitely nowhere near the length of Wano, obviously. I think it's going to be more around a Zoe, maybe a little bit longer than Zoe or so. Zoe.
I could
So,
see
haha.
I could see it being somewhere in between, like maybe okay. If I had to spitball it, like 50 chapters, maybe. How many chapters was Zoe?
30-ish. I want to
Yeah,
say maybe 20-ish. I can't remember.
I could. Here's what I'm thinking of. Okay, there's like there's enough with Straw Hats plus Bonnie. There's like 12-ish characters, give or take. I don't know who else will show up. 6 Vegapunks. I could easily see Oda squaring it off into 2 of them protect 1 Vegapunk from someone who's in the Cypher Pole or whoever. Like with 6 different fights happening as of 2v1s or 3v1s if you want to, if each of the Vegapunks fought. But that's just, again, that's assuming the worst in Oda's writing style. But I could easily see it being something like that, where it's a shorter arc, but it's still longer than Zoe, because I feel like this is more important than Zoe.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the only concern I have in regards to this arc's longevity, right, is there's no one for Luffy to fight, because CP0 isn't strong. We know that. We know that CP0 isn't strong. Rob Gucci, he has a limit on how strong he can be, right?
Yeah,
he's just not going to be competitive with the upper Straw Hats, right? And Kaku, obviously not. It's Juicy. I don't even know if she has combat abilities. As of so far, the one with the most combat abilities that we've seen is potentially Vegapunk, probably Seraphim Kuma. And you could say Seraphim Kuma, but that's not going to be a match for Luffy. So I don't think this is going to be a huge arc because of that, because Luffy doesn't have a match. Because who can fight Luffy? In the Navy, you have the Admirals, potentially the Gorosei, potentially Imu.
For all we know, someone of near equal caliber could just show up in the middle or near the end. Like, think of like Kuma's initial drop in Thriller Bark, where it's like, okay, we finally did it. We finally beat Gecko Moria. Then they look over and they're like, son of a bitch, because then Kuma just shows up.
Yeah.
It could be something on a near level where it's like, okay, cool, beat the bad guys. And then Blackbeard shows up. It's like, oh, hey, I killed Shanks.
I feel like the next big arc is going to be revolving around Sabo.
Yeah, that's been
Sabo has been continually pushed off, from Robin not mentioning him to Bonnie in this chapter not mentioning him. I feel like Sabo could be the crux of the next big arc.
Yeah, well, because I feel like here's my idea for it. Once they start getting into Emu territory, Sabo will become relevant, because Sabo, guys, I was there when the island was nuked.
You guys aren't gonna believe this.
You guys aren't gonna believe this. There is someone who sat on the throne, and by God, he obliterated this island out of reality. That's why I don't think he's going to show up. If he shows up, he's gonna have to show up near the end game. That's at least my idea. Because in terms of what's gonna happen next, if this is a shorter arc, I would like to say Blackbeard is next, and then that we're at the finale. That's at least what I can assume.
That's definitely what I think, because Blackbeard is kind of like the ultimate pirate, and you could think, well, what about Shanks? I think Shanks is going to come into play either with Blackbeard beating him, and then Luffy beating Blackbeard, and it's like, okay, he's the strongest pirate, right?
Yeah. By proxy.
Going on, I feel like Luffy has to be the strongest pirate before he's king of the pirates, and then once he's king of the pirates, then he's fighting the world government, right?
Yeah, and I forgot where I saw it. I'm pulling guys, I swear Oda said it in an interview, but I don't have the link to the interview. I thought that he said the series will end once they get the One Piece. To right before they go get the One Piece is when the final battle could happen. Either way, the final battle, I agree with you in saying it will happen once Luffy is the strongest. They're not going to go from fighting Emu and whoever to Blackbeard afterward. At least I wouldn't assume.
No, they need to wrap up the pirate stuff, because I don't see Blackbeard working with the world government.
No, and then I cannot wait for the final arc of One Piece. It's just gonna be
great.
Everyone we've known, Crossfield's gonna show up. Everyone is going to show up to fight. And before something like that, yeah, I feel like at the very least, I could also see it being like a kind of a three-way where, once again, in the middle of fighting the government, Blackbeard shows up to third party, just mid-war.
Just mid, yeah. He is kind of mid, isn't he?
God, he does that so much, and it's super annoying, but it's such a good strategy.
It's smart. It's really smart.
It is.
Right, so last thing that I want to bring up, devil fruits. I think we're probably going to learn a lot about devil fruits this arc.
Oda said, and I do remember seeing the thing for the interview, like, the mystery of the devil fruits, like, we're going to learn the origin of the devil fruits in this arc. I would like to believe that.
I certainly hope so.
Once Vegapunk is here, we will learn about the history of them, but that won't be for a while. Chuckle. That's what the transcript.
But now Vegapunk's here, like 12 years later or something.
I can't wait till Oda's like, shit, I still haven't thought about origin for the story for these things.
Alrighty. Any last thoughts, Kyle?
No, this was a good chapter, and I can't wait to see what will happen next. I want to see. Okay, at the very least, I don't want to see Luffy fold Lucci. I want to see Robin fold Lucci.
That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be a great like loop around back to like showing just how far she's come. And again, that's just me. It's wanting my favorite character to have a cool part of their arc to be like, oh hey, years ago you were a big threat, but now I can fight you all on my own, and I don't need any. Like, I have my friends, but I could easily beat you myself. I think that would be nice. That's just me wanting something personal for my favorite character. What about you, Brandon?
Well, me, I don't know. I want Zoro to do a cool thing, I suppose. I want to see Luffy Gear 5 again. That's about it.
Zoro fold all of the sea beasts.
Exactly. All right. So if you're this far in the video, obviously there's something you like, so make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment telling us how correct we are. Also be sure to check out Coopers and Screens book club, link in description. Currently airing as of the time of this is Hunter x Hunter, and then will be Bleach, which is a very good series, and you should look forward to looking at our thoughts on it because we're always correct and we always have such good thoughts on things. This next week coming up, Tuesday we have Chainsaw Man, and then we have One Piece again on Sunday. Not Tuesday. Yeah, well, Tuesday the chapter comes out Wednesday. I don't know. I'm tired. It's been a long week. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.